Hey, this is Sean and Richard at the UTSAC. We're going to show you a quick and dirty video on how to get the Mackie DL1608 iPad mixer going. So we've got the mixer connected to a network router. There's an Ethernet port on the back of the mixer. And we've got a monitor mix connected to these 1/4-inch balance jacks back here. That's going to be my monitor wedge, and my main output XLR connectors are right here. That's going to go to my PA system, and I'm going to hook a microphone into channel 1. Alright, so we're going to be using this mixer for the Awake show. Already configured on the mixer. If I go to shows, there is a snapshot called Awake 11/22/2016. I want to go ahead and recall that show. Recall it? Yes, we do. All right, now the mixer is set up for the show that's coming up next week. So we're going to make sure we have 6 vocals here. There's piano, acoustic, electric, bass. The way the Mackie mixer works is these faders do different things depending on what layer you were on. So right now I'm on the left and right layer, so all my fader adjustments for all the different instruments will affect my main mix for my audience. I can also control all of my monitor mixes. So I have my my monitor wedge here connected to the aux1 output. So over here, if I choose A1, aux1, it shows that that's going to be the monitors that the piano players are hearing. Now these faders are in charge of controlling all those different instruments and how much of them goes to the monitor mix. I can do the same thing for A2, and then like A3, A4. A4 is going to be the drummer's monitor mix. So each of these monitor mixes can have separate levels of all the different instruments, and there we have our main output mix. So I've got a microphone plugged into channel 1, and I'm going to see if we can get some sound out of that. We're getting a little bit of sound. The only knobs that are on the mixer itself is a headphone gain, or headphone volume, and the initial gains for the preamps. So just like any other mixer, the first thing we do is establish a good gain level. So getting some microphone here. Actually, let me come to that side. Richard, you want to say some profound stuff? Well, let's talk into it. Say something profound.
Hello, this is something very, very profound that
Keep
I'm
going.
saying.
There you go. Keep going.
So profound. The profoundness cannot be calculated.
That is awesome. So we're getting a good signal at the channel. I have it muted here. I have my mains muted, and let me see what our aux1 looks like. That's not muted, so that's fine. So our first job is, let me see if we can get this sound into our PA system. So I'm going to unmute my mains. I'm on left, right, and I'm going to unmute the channel. And Richard's going to start with some profound information again.
Even more profound information coming through. Oh, whoa, it's in the speakers. That's
really
profound.
I like it when it works. That's pretty cool. So we've gotten this microphone into our PA speakers. That's awesome. Continue down the line with all the rest of the instruments that you're going to be adding. All right, so let's look at getting this signal into our monitor mix. So let's change to our monitor 1, or our aux1, excuse me. And now we can start dialing in this mix into our monitor wedge. Go ahead and profound us, Richard.
And now, even more profound stuff that should be coming out of the monitor.
Isn't that
Magic.
awesome? Yeah, it's pretty cool. So now we're getting some level at the monitor. Just like in any other systems, our monitor is set up to be pre-fader, which means any adjustment I do to the level of that instrument in the main mix for my audience does not affect. So I've got it all the way down, and I even have our main mix muted. Richard's going to say something profound, and we still should hear it coming out of our...
More profound stuff.
Awesome. So it's still coming out of the monitor mix, even though we have muted. So that's how we set up the basic instrument and vocal inputs into this thing. So for Awake, the first 4 inputs are going to be our J1 band microphones in the Gator rack. The next 2 inputs for the other 2 vocals are going to be SM58s wired directly into here. The next two inputs are going to be a couple of pianos. They're going to be down in front of the stage. One of them is going to be our piano. The other one is going to be brought by the customer. We'll use DI boxes for those, or a single stereo DI box that we can use each side of. There's going to be an acoustic guitar that we use a DI box for. There's going to be an electric guitar with a small amp. We'll point a microphone at the amp. There's going to be a bass guitar that we use a DI for as well. Don't believe. Oh, we'll also have to get some computer audio into this from their computer presentation. But that's what we'll do. Each channel has lots and lots of processing, equalization, gates, compressors. If you press the top, you can see that stuff. All right, we can adjust different things. Up here is how you change from a channel to an overview. Pretty cool stuff, pretty easy. Now the cool thing is, this iPad can be connected to the wireless router, and we can drive this board wirelessly. So we're going to do this. We're going to unmount it. The important thing to know about this is this router is not broadcasting its SSID. It's a hidden wireless network. So if your device has not connected to it before, you'll need the SSID and the passphrase, and both of those are documented here. So let's see, we'll go and see if we can connect to it. I think this system has seen it before. It's going to be the Belkin Wi-Fi. And now we're on Belkin Wi-Fi. So we'll go back to Mackie Fader. And if I go up here to this, well, it's already picked it up. That's cool. If I go to this little gear here, I can see what devices are available. And there's the wireless DL1608. It shows me that I'm connected. So I'm now mixing manually. Let's go back over here and let's mix our monitors again. Hey, so check it out. Say something profound, Richard.
Hello, how are you doing today? This is magical.
Isn't that awesome? Hey, feedback. All right, we know how to deal with that. Anyway, so that's about it. That's how you set it up. You connect your monitors with our 1/4 inch to XLR balance cables. We connect to our mains with an XLR cable. We plug in our mics or our instruments or our DIs into these 16 channels here, and you change between what you're mixing. It's the same faders, but it's a different page. And they're kind of color-coded, so it's easy to find. That's about it. Can you think of anything else we need to point out with this, Richard?
I cannot, I think.
Okay. The only other thing I would point out is to be fairly gentle and cautious when you are mounting it. You don't want to smash into that lightning connector and break it off or something. So as you approach the mount point, make sure it's lined up nice and neat before you do it. You should give a little thing that it's going to sync to a wired Mackie instead of wireless. And indeed, that is reflected here. We're connected to the Mackie via a hardwire connection now. It will charge it while it's docked. Multiple devices can connect to this at one time. So if we needed 2 folks to be able to adjust the mixes, another iPad or even an iPhone can be used for some of the basic volume functions. Only on the iPad do you have access to all of the different processing and routing and EQs and such. But on the iPhone, the same app you install, you have access to all the different layers, but just the volume and mutes. So that's about it. You dock it, crank it up, load the correct show, make sure it's connected to the router correctly, get your inputs connected, adjust your gains so you're getting healthy signals, healthy levels into the mixer, and connect it to all your outputs. So on this Awake show, we are going to have 4 different monitor mixes. Like I said, there's going to be one on the floor for the piano players to get what they need. So for example, if we look at aux 1, which is going to be for the pianos, and they're going to have some piano. They're going to want to hear themselves, of course. They're going to want to hear probably a little bit of the vocals, or maybe just the main vocal, possibly some of one of the guitars, so that they're kind of make sure they're in with the melody, and whatever else they want. The drummer, typically the drummer is going to want plenty of instrumentation. He probably is going to want some bass, so he knows he's getting in a good rhythm groove with the bass player. perhaps some of the piano to make sure he's kind of in time with how the song's going. Some vocals as a cue as to where he is. 2 and 3 will be the front 2 stage monitors for the vocalists and the guitars. So we can all adjust those according to what everybody needs. Anything else? Thanks!